Hello and welcome to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind, where we bring you professionals who share insight into the latest trends, tips, industry, technology, and services to help you create more videos to use in your mortgage business. Now I think we're going live.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Here we are. Hey guys. Welcome. We've got some other people joining us. Okay, and we want to welcome you to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind. And today, Frank and I are running solo. So I think we're going to go so crazy today, aren't we?
What will we do?
Oh my God.
Just you and I. What could we possibly do?
What trouble can we get into today? Let's see. I know what I want to talk about first and foremost. What happened on your sellers webinar?
So, this is good. So just a preface, right? And by the way, learned so much from you, Ginger, which has just been great, to be connected to you. And me, I've been doing video for quite a long time.
You're the godfather of
yeah, doing it a long time. But you have really opened up, different thoughts on it and different ways to approach it, and much more practical ways as an originator to make use of it to get some business. You know what I mean? And so the fact that you created edu marketing, just kind of points to that in using education as a marketing piece, which is a big deal. And we were talking, you and I I think Scott and somebody else, and we brought up the fact that I remember we were talking with George, and he was using Webinar Jam, and he was doing first-time home buyer type webinars that we could co-brand with agents, and really, really cool. In fact, it was so cool. I did a podcast on it. I shared about it at a Marketing Animals event, and so really, really neat. So for me, what I wound up taking from that was I thought, everybody does first-time home buyer. What about first-time home seller? And here's the interesting thing, Ginger. I don't know if you saw this.
Which is so smart. I love that.
Well, and here's
why. Think about it and just spin it, because nobody ever does that.
Right. And it's important to do it right now, too, because I was just reading I'm still a real estate news junkie. I did it for 15 years and reported on it for 15 years. I can't stop looking at real estate news, so I look at it every day. And I saw a NAR report, and it basically said like some stupid crazy number, and I could be wrong, but something like 78% of millennial homeowners plan on selling their home within the next 12 months, right? Really? So and I'm like, what? That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of houses, and then I realized in that age demographic, there's probably a lot of first-time home sellers, right? So there's a lot of people that wound up buying homes over the past 10 years, we'll say, right? And a lot of them are, first-time buyers back then, and now they would be considered a first-time seller. And I thought, it's probably equally as important for a first-time home seller to understand what the ins and outs are. What am I going to net? How do I value my home? What are all the fees involved? How does the process work? All that kind of stuff. So we brought up the fact of, and we are, in fact, you're still working on this. We're still working on it. But we brought up the fact of, hey, why not do first-time home seller education? And so I did it. I just I'm going to run with this, and I put it together for my mother's office, right, the real estate office for the team. There's a team of realtors that I help out, and I thought, I'm going to put this thing together. And so I did it. I had a PowerPoint presentation built. I laid out an outline for PowerPoint. And then you saw, in fact, you've worked with the guy in the Ukraine,
Oh my gosh, amazing. He just did. I have a client that we're doing the same kind of thing. So automated his webinars for reverse for financial planners. And so he just had a handout that just had the information. And I sent it over to your guy in the Ukraine. And honestly, I sent it to him, went and took a shower, came back, and it was done.
I know. And it would kill her, right? It looked great, right?
I was like, how do you do that?
I know.
I gave him paid for his service, but I gave him a huge tip too. And it's like anything I can send to him. In fact, we'll drop a link to him on Fiverr into the comments because he's phenomenal.
He's phenomenal. I think the real quick stories we're sharing. So the real quick story on this guy was I wanted a PowerPoint presentation done. I wanted it to look really good. I mean, I can put a PowerPoint presentation together, but it's not going to look that good, right?
Right.
So I thought, well, I'll go to Fiverr. Big fan of Fiverr. Man, you can get anything done at Fiverr really cheap. And so I said, hey, make my PowerPoint awesome. Found a guy, paid no attention to who he was or anything. He said, I can do it for like $60 or something like that. So I sent him my outline, right? And same as you, like literally within hours, he was pinging me saying, hey man, just got a question on this, question on that. And when he was, so I sent it to him in the evening, my time, went to bed, woke up early in the morning. I do Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Loan Officer Breakfast, I'm getting ready to go on there. And he's pinging me on the Fiverr app. I use the app to communicate with these guys. And he's saying, hey, this, and I go, hey man, you get me kind of early. Just, I'm going to do a thing. I'll be right back. You know, I'll get to you in about an hour or something like that. I go back and he's apologizing. Sorry to wake you up. Didn't mean it. It's just with all the air raids and airstrikes out here, my time is all I'm like, what? Air raids, airstrikes. And so I look the guy up. He's in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's in the Ukraine. So here you got this guy in the Ukraine just finding a way to make it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was very inspirational to me. You know, like, you know, we're in the mortgage space, like, man, rates are high and it's hard, you know. Well, this guy's got like his apartment complex being bombed, you know, and he's still fighting a way to make it work. But anyway,
and so he's so polite. I know I had shared with you, I sent you a text and I'm trying to see what he had sent to me in response. His response was amazing. He just said, you know, if you need any help later, feel free to contact me. I will always be happy to help you. Understanding people are rare and you are one of them.
Nice.
I mean, it's like, I mean, honestly, it's like, if there's any way I can hire the guy for more jobs or, you know, full time.
He's my guy. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, he's amazing. And
he's amazing.
When you find those kind of people, that's helpful. So you started with an outline. So
start with an outline.
You wanted to do selling.
First time home seller. Yeah, you know, he did a beautiful PowerPoint. Just made a couple little adjustments.
It looked great. Yeah,
absolutely beautiful. And so then I went on the hunt because for me, I wanted to do an on demand type of a deal.
You know, on demand.
Yeah, but I needed a platform that you know had certain features, poll questions and things like that. And I needed it on demand. I needed to be able to see the analytics, who came from where, right?
And you didn't use Webinar Jam.
I didn't use Webinar Jam in this instance because this didn't, what I was looking for here just didn't really necessarily fit that mold, right? You know, Webinar Jam has its own things that are powerful and perfect for the originator, especially for the originator that's going to be doing multiple things with multiple agents and co-branding and all. It's phenomenal, right? It's incredible. Right. But for me and for what I was doing, I just needed kind of a one-off on-demand thing. And so
you used webinar.net.
Webinar.net. I did a Google search and I just came across them and I thought, well, it looks like they got all the features and they don't even give you their pricing or anything. So I thought, okay, what's this going to be? You know, but I filled out the form and right away, man, they were engaging with me. I cannot tell you how happy I am with these guys. They were extremely so attentive to getting in touch with me. How can we help? Let's put it together. And they put everything together for you. Like you get on a call with their team on a Zoom call. You tell them this is what I'm looking for. This and they're okay. They take the notes. Blah, blah, blah. And then they come back to you with like this finished product. That's like everything you wanted it to be. And you can make your adjustments and there's all kinds of ways to engage. And even in the on-demand format, there's a lot of engagement available. Man, it was just really a great experience. And the visual display of it is fantastic. And it was $1,500. Okay. And so it's $1,500, but it lasts a year. So $1,500 a year. So it was $100 a month.
So one webinar.
One off. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so for me, that was worth it because, well, I could get a more robust system that does all these other things, but it's going to cost me nearly $100 a month. You know, right?
Yeah. Webinar Jam. I think
it's 80.
I think it's $97.
Yeah. So you're at $1,200 for the year.
But the reason I like Webinar Jam, and especially for originators, is because you can record your webinar one time, put it into Webinar Jam, do all the branding and everything in there, and then you can clone that webinar.
Right. That's
and
the
then
man. Yeah.
co-brand it.
Yes, it's brilliant.
To your real estate agents, which is what we did with George. So George just recorded, because when you said that, and you were part of, we put a little focus group together to create buying in today's market and selling in today's market, which is a one-off from the first time sellers, which I love the first time sellers. And so George just recorded his first webinar that we're going to put in for selling in today's market. So it'll be interesting to see when he starts putting those into his Thor's Hammers calls, right?
Yeah,
So if you follow and Freedom Club, Mortgage Marketing Animals, talk about that. That's a good reason to be able to make those phone calls and say, hey, by
he's going to kill it. He's going to kill it. Yeah,
which is
brilliant.
So good.
Yeah, it is. And Webinar Jam's perfect for that. And then, but for what I was doing on this particular instance, I just didn't need that. And and there was something else that I can't remember what it was. There was a feature in Webinarnet that I couldn't get in Webinar Jam that was important to me, but I can't remember exactly what that was. And so I went ahead and took the plunge with these guys, and they were absolutely phenomenal. And so now I've got, in fact,
1,500, and they did it all for
everything.
You. That's
everything
killer. So you have the one webinar, it's first time sellers. And so now you're taking that, you have it for a year. So what's your plan as far as marketing it?
I'm going to market the snot out of that thing. I really am. So I'm going to Google at it, right? For sure. I'm going to do it on Google. And by the way,
Bill? You're going to get with Bill.
Totally getting with ad traffic, and it's going to be up on ad traffic. In fact, technically it already is. I've already got it up on ad traffic. I just got the finished product this morning. It's already up with ad traffic. Yeah, I'm gonna market the snot out of it. The neat thing too is what they do is when they give you the finished product, you get, of course, the main registration link where people can go and register, which I'm gonna map. I think I've already got. I think I have first time home seller something. I can't remember, but I'm going to map that. Right. And they also give you 3 other links. They say, well, they give you many links as you want. They say, where are you going to advertise? I said, well, probably Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And so they gave me 3 separate links. Say, this is your Google link, your Facebook link, your LinkedIn link.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
So the data that you can see all the data on everybody that does anything. That's a really nice thing. Very robust analytics on who clicked what and asked questions and everything on when they get in there. But then I'll be able to track where all these things are coming from. But what I am going to do, just so you know, and this is kudos to you, is I'm definitely going to re-record it. See, I recorded that on their platform because that's where you can engage questions, and they can answer the questions right on the screen in this platform too. So it's really neat. But I'm going to record it again, just as a video, right? Like on Zoom is what I'll do. And I'll do the webinar as a video. And I'm definitely putting it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
For sure. You know what I mean? So because
people build, I think there's a lot you can build around that. And so you have the selling in today's market, the handout that I made, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking of doing is taking that handout and separating it out, because I think there's like 8 pages on it. I can't remember. And making those into some infographics that go around promoting the webinars.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then the other thing I want to do with that is I want to put that into a lead capture system where if they're on the webinar, say, hey, you want to get our first time sellers, checklist, what to do, then you can also use that as a secondary lead capture as well. So, there's so many pieces you can build around it. And the great thing is you record it, really one time, you're going to record it a second time to put it onto YouTube.
Right.
So there was a platform that I'm looking at. I have a client who wants to start doing some podcasts. And I've done them, we've done them. Never really helped anybody else to do them. So it's like, I want something that's simple for them to use. And there's a platform I found that's called riverside.fm.
I've heard of it. I've seen it.
Yeah. And so the cool thing about it is you can record it just like this with Zoom. So kind of like what you did, I think, with the webinar.net is it's recorded within the platform. It posts onto the platform, but then you can also, it pulls the subtitles. So you can pull the subtitles from it. And, in your podcast, you always want to have the dialogue underneath. So instead of having to put it into another system,
Yeah.
do all that, it does all of that in there. And it will take your video and it'll make it into clips. So you can then take those smaller clips and Gary
for the marketing.
For the marketing.
So what's the pricing on that one?
I don't know.
You haven't figured it out?
Well, I have my team researching it. So
I'm gonna dive into those guys too. I saw that and I'm impressed with it too from what I've seen so far. Yeah. And somehow they came across my feed. So it's interesting you brought that up because they've been kind of on my mind. I want to do a Loan Officer Gizmos and Gadgets podcast with it. I want to dig into it and see what's going on and do a podcast on it because I think it looks pretty good. If you find anything else out, in the short interim, let me know. But I'm going to dig into those guys like this week as well, and I'll let you know because I'm going to do a podcast with them. They don't know it yet. They're going to do a podcast. That one thing I found is that when you find tech products like this and you reach out to them and say, "Hey, I've got this podcast on Gizmos and Gadgets. You want to be on it?" You rarely get a no.
Yeah, no.
You rarely get a no.
Yeah.
You do. Absolutely.
How's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Available right now.
Yeah. So, I do want to make a point too. We're talking about first-time home sellers and all this, and I know we're primarily talking to loan originators, but let me tell you something. If you can do this, even go to webinar, or however you do it with, in whatever fashion, but I would stick with Ginger's plan, what she has laid out, because it's going to be all laid out for you, and you can co-brand all your agents with it and all that kind of stuff. Remember this. If you're in a position to where you're gathering first-time home seller leads, newsflash, they're the best buyer you could possibly ever have, right? They are just the home run of home runs of, oh, thinking on selling, gonna move somewhere. Oh, gonna pay cash or do you need a mortgage? 99 times out of 100. Well, we need a mortgage. Well, let me get you pre-approved real quick. For that. And so you're already ready to go by the time you get your home on the market. They are going to be outstanding buyer leads because these contingent deals and these deals where you got somebody selling a house, putting $300,000 down on the house that they're buying, right?
Right.
Those deals get accepted in the bidding wars. They can afford to bid over asking to get the house that they want. These are going to be the pre-approved and lookings in your pipeline that get into contract, right? These are the ones. So it's really, really smart, super smart, in my opinion, loan originator perspective. If you can find a guy who's thinking about selling his home, be able to hand that to a real estate agent and you do the loan, that's a freaking grand slam. I am sorry.
Yep.
That's a grand slam.
The fact as far as the first time, home seller. So, when you're thinking about what that first time seller is, first of all, you want to think about what age demographic are you in? So doing what you're doing with the webinar on demand, they're going to watch that, putting the video out on YouTube. And honestly, I would do all of your content around that, Frank. I would build a YouTube channel. I would brand it first, first time. I would brand the shit out of that. I would make the banner about that.
Because you could go deeper on different things. Let's dig into capital gains. What will you have to pay? What are they? Even have a tax speaker guest on it.
And you can get into, so if they're looking at selling their home, well, really, and it's funny because we were on an Uber ride going to California last week. And the guy owns his house free and clear, older guy, retired. And he wants to buy a house in Hawaii and use it, for like an Airbnb and be able to go and stay there. So, one of the things is obviously rates going up, qualifying. There's not a lot of programs that allow you to do Airbnb, blah, 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 blah. And so I said, why don't you just take the equity out of your house because you own it free and clear, and then turn around and buy that house. So you can do a refi on your house, right? And then go buy another house. That would be a great video. Right. Because you think about, maybe they're thinking of selling. Well, maybe you don't want to sell this house. Maybe you want to keep this house. Maybe you want to leverage this house and buy another house. Those are all things to think about. in terms, I mean, there's so much content you could do around that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's a little thing.
I'm going to do it, by the way.
Yeah, do it. I'll help you make the banners. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, no, we're going to work together on it. I think that's a brilliant idea. I love it.
So you think about, and so we're creating content for June because June is National Home Ownership Month. The whole month of June is National Home Ownership Month. Now, I don't know who makes these things up, but
probably NAR.
It could have been NAR. Who knows?
Yeah, more than likely.
So, that's something to put that all around within your YouTube channel. There's tons of things like the history of, and it's funny because I'm looking at some things. If you look at just statistics, these are FAQs. You could do a whole thing about FAQs, right? Selling a home, FAQs. The average age of the first-time home buyer in the United States, you want to know what it is?
31.
Older, 34.
That was close.
But you're close, yeah.
Give me another one. Come on.
Okay, so how many homeowners were there in the U.S. in 2020?
In 2020, how many homeowners?
Mm-hmm. How many people owned a home in 2020?
64 million.
Well, it's a percentage. So.
It's a percentage.
Sorry. How many people? What percentage?
What percentage of people in the United States own a home in 2020?
Yeah.
29%.
That own a home? That's low.
62%.
It's 65.8%.
Okay.
So 65% of portions of households that are occupied by the owner is 65.8%.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. But so here's what I want you to know. When I started asking you questions, what did you do? Oh, I want to know. I want to know, right?
Yeah. Take a guess.
So, those are kind of things. If you're looking at ways to engage, whether it's on your social media, whether it's on your YouTube, do that. And because people want to know that information, and they remember that, and they'll go on and ask somebody else. I can guarantee you within the next 2 days, you will ask somebody the questions that we just talked about.
Yeah, no, I know. It's interesting.
So those are kind of things, people always wonder, what should I do a video about? What should I talk about? Those are great things to be able to tie in there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I got connected to Mike Simonson, and he's the CEO and founder of Altos Research. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but a data gathering guy, right?
Okay.
And on home sales and all that stuff. And you can subscribe to him and get these market reports branded to you. They're super cool. I mean, they're just awesome. And so you can put in your zip code and you'll see everything that's going on in your housing market, and that, like, median days on the market, median list price, percentage of price reductions. It's very, very interesting data. Well, I look at that thing like all the time now. And now I'm like this little brainiac, you know what I mean? In my local area, anybody can ask me anything. You know what I mean? It's like, well, how's the market doing? I'll tell you exactly how it's doing. to the penny.
Yeah, statistics show that.
Yeah, I'll say this is exactly what's going on, and it's really neat because it's really not that much information, but it's a good amount of information, but it's enough to digest and comprehend and have it. And just like you said, these would be great videos. In fact, I did do it on Facebook Monday. It was like, well, I want to do a weekly market report.
Yes.
In my area, and state these are the numbers and this is what it means. And so that alone, I think people love that. Mm-hmm. They love knowing the numbers.
They do. And the other thing, I mean, so much you can do. I mean, starting the YouTube channel, first time sellers. So you're going to, be able to think about all of those things that go about selling. So you're going to have conversations with your stagers, with, your local, fix the shutters kind of guy, right? So what are the things you need to do? You can do visual on this, where you could go out and you could do a live YouTube. And I'd set it up to where it's like, okay, Tuesday, I'm going to go live. Guess where I'm going to be? You're not going to know, but it's going to be interesting and you're going to want to tune in. Those are kind of things that's like right there for you and you're with us.
Right.
And then take your gimbal, take your phone and, set something up and go out there. People love that. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole thing, I'm excited for your YouTube channel because nobody's doing.
I'm gonna do it. Why not? I'll do it. And help the agents out. In my mom's office and bring some business in the door. Why not?
Well, and you
Why
have,
not?
I mean, the whole area you're in Vacaville is so fun. I love, I'll never forget one time I was there. Brian Stevens and I made a little rounds in downtown Vacaville, and
Mhm.
every single bar we went into, not that we went
Mhm.
into every bar, but we definitely went into a few, had the liar's dice.
Mhm.
That's like kind of the thing there. So
Yep.
those are kind of things that stand out. So
Yeah.
in the area, and even if you're doing mortgages and not selling real estate, those are things to focus on in your area as well that you can bring in and tie it in with selling or buying. But
Oh,
I love
dude.
the
I mean,
selling.
yeah, mortgages is just synonymous. I mean, it's just they go together. You have to, anything like I would even like the Altos reports. Any mortgage guy could subscribe to the Altos
Yeah,
reports,
I love
right?
that.
Get all that real estate data and be the person that's reporting on what's going on in the market. And if you need a mortgage, let me know.
Yeah.
It's no different. It's just data, housing data, and I'll help
Yeah.
you with the financing. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. I tell you what, guys, too, if you go to Altos Research, and I think it's altos.re, you go there, and if you put in the code all lowercase breakfast, because we had them on Loan Officer Breakfast Club too.
Cool.
But if you put in the code breakfast, you get the first month free. And as a loan originator, I'm telling you, it's a powerful thing to get. And if you make use of this with video, oh, you'll kill it. You just
It's
kill
not
it.
expensive. I'm looking at it. It's like, so professional
It's
is
$79
$79 a month.
Yeah.
You get 10 zip codes.
Yeah.
One user up to 1,000 contacts. So you can put your contacts in here.
Oh, well, what winds up happening is if somebody subscribes to your report, it goes into their little system and they get it sent to them weekly. Oh, and you can go in and change it every week. So I learned that and I was like, so I went in there and I'm like putting pictures of our grandkids and things like that. Hey, here's your market update. Here's what's going on with us and our family. And we did this and we did that. I'm making it like a
weekly blog.
Yeah, like a weekly blog, but it's got the market update.
You're so smart.
I know. So smart. It's so that system, I tell you, is like stupid, brainless, easy too. And it's like its own little self-contained little unit. The market report, people subscribe and things go out to them. It's brilliant. It's really simple. But if I was a loan originator, I'd look at Altos Research. Definitely use the code breakfast, and then I would be doing a weekly video, something like that on the market. And the data is so easy to read and understand. It's really beautifully laid out. It's cool. You share it on your screen and do stuff. It's really cool.
Well, you could even do a weekly video about it.
That's what I was saying. Do a weekly video.
Just pull that up.
Pull it up.
Show it. Like you can use, so Vidyard I love because you can show your screen and show you at the same time, pull the report up.
Yeah.
And that's
talk about it.
Pull that up and talk about it.
Just talk about it. Yeah, this is what's going on in the market. It's got this really cool gauge, so you can tell. I'll share my screen. It's going to take 2 seconds. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's really, really neat. It's such a great tool for an originator to use.
Got it?
Yep, I do. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right, real quick. I know we got to get out of here, but just so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is it. This is my wife's account, right? It defaults to Vacaville, but you can put anything in here. It's got this little market action index. So, it's just a little gauge. Like this line supposedly is like the sweet spot, but you can see we're way over to the seller side. But what I like to point out is as far as a cooling off is concerned, if you look at our median list price, look at that, it's dropping. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a cooling, right? Median days on the market's a good thing to look at too, but it's kind of holding steady. But look at this, our price reductions. Look at that. What do price reductions mean? Are you kidding? I can't get this price. I can't sell it in 3 days. I guess I better. So price reductions are increasing, right? Look at the inventory of Vacaville creeping up.
Going up.
Okay, so we've got inventory going up. We got price reductions going up, right? median list price coming down. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm thinking we're cooling off. So if you're thinking on selling, you might be at the peak. You want to get a hold of me. I'll get you connected to a real estate agent right away. Let me know. I'm Frank Ray. This is your market report. Have a great day.
Love it.
Right? I mean, you do this once a week.
Brilliant.
You kill it. You kill it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Super smart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Very good. Well, for those of you who are watching on a replay, we're going to drop the links down below. So look for those. And honestly, one thing, I mean, if you do nothing else from listening to this today, but that one thing that you just talked about, to go to the altos.re, and you can use, is it breakfast as a
breakfast, all lowercase breakfast. You get your first month free.
There you go.
You get it for 30 days for free. And there's no money in it. Nobody's making any money, just so you know. That's just at Marketing Animals, we don't do like rev shares with companies and say, if you do that, we're going to make $10 a month. None of that.
Right.
It's just, we like to try and arrange a little benefit, you know what I mean, for those who we bring to them. It's just, there's no monetary gain to anyone over here for that. It's just, it gives you a discount, for 30 days. Use the code breakfast.
Perfect. I love it. Well, thank you, Frank. Always good to see you.
You too.
So just so you know, for those of you who are listening, I'm going to post it down below. We're not going to do a call next week. I am actually traveling for the next 2 weeks, speaking at American Pacific Mortgages, all of their summits that are going on. So I'm not going to do next week because I'm going to be on a plane, but we'll do the following.
Well, those guys are great guys.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to be
great.
in Sacramento the following week.
So we got to get together.
Well, maybe you and I on Wednesday, we can do it live.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.